or the fact that school sucks, or that the jobs do get patted on the head every time they beat up the weirdos, and the jobs you get once you graduate from school are stupid, boring, meaningless, and a dead end to insanity.
You know, there seems to be this mythical facade that metal turns everyday kids into murderers and rapists, when in reality people are a bunch of brain-dead ignorant sheep that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Now, I honestly wanted to make a video after watching TJ Venom's video, who most may remember him as the Tyshawn Zone for those who are longtime subscribers of his, but he made a video on why pop music is better than rap, which I'll put in the link down below. But yeah, after watching that video, there really is no argument to be made, really, because yes, while I don't care for pop music, it's a scientifically proven fact that most people who mainly listen to it are more civilized compared to rap listeners out there. Yeah, there's gonna be toxic fans in every community, but come on, in the rap community, I hear stories about rappers getting in beefs, dudes getting shot, all these nightclub shootings and all that shit that happened recently with the Travis Scott Astrodome controversy and all that other stuff. As someone who lived through the 90s, I've heard all the stories about metal and Marilyn Manson and games like Doom being the cause for all these school shootings, and it's still kind of like this. Even though there are like rap songs with more downloads and more popular with kids these days, they literally have lyrics of shooting people and committing crimes, but nobody ever wants to blame that genre as a huge contributor to all these crimes and gang violence in the US, right? Oh no, let's just blame violent video games and rock and roll. Please, the whole thing to me is just a myth, and is not even comparable because school shootings and movie theater shootings only happen like once in a blue moon. Second, you can't just blame rock and metal for this, as not all white people who live in the suburbs even listen to rock and metal, as their taste in music tends to be more versatile from pop, country, rap, or like techno, emo, so you can't just blame rock and metal for this, as you have no scientific proof. Besides, the stories you'll hear, like that one incident where Elise Paylor was raped and killed by these dumbass group of teenage boys, but shit like that you rarely ever hear about. I mean, yeah, I can't speak for the majority of metal, but in black metal there has always been a pervasive undercurrent of the music for criminals by criminal sentiments. You can look up bands like Blasphemy, Mayhem, Burzum, etc. that value a certain ethos above others. I don't think it's as prevalent today as it was back then, but it certainly did exist. Yeah, there has been an attempt to demonize metal in the 80s and 90s, but that failed horribly because metalheads have no inclination to be more criminal than anyone else. And do you want to know why? Maybe it's because metal doesn't make you want to kill people. Some people are just plain evil, and guys like this just so happen to have been fans, so I don't want to fucking hear it. Like, non-fans will use a few examples like this to justify their hatred for the genre, yet rarely any of them, with the exception of, let's say, Bill O'Reilly or Geraldo Rivera, even say anything about rap music, when the genre mostly talks about gang violence and tons of kids who emulate that type of lifestyle. Not saying it's the only reason, but I do believe it was and still is a huge contributor. Is there any doubt? Like, as someone like myself who's black in descent, over 50% of the crimes that happen here in the US are caused by black thugs. I don't even hear tons of stories about metalheads killing people, and I'm talking like all the time. And why, you may ask? Again, maybe it's because metalheads, at least for the most part, are not violent. As a matter of fact, after reading this article, which I'll put in the link down below, it kind of proves that metal doesn't automatically make you violent, because the irony is that a genuine study showed that rockers and metalheads actually tend to be less violent than rap and pop listeners, because the aggression of anger involved in rock and metal helps them deal with their own internal aggressions. From the frontiers of human and neoscience, focusing on heavy metal, emo, punk, hardcore, screamo, and various other subgenres featured in the category of extreme music, honors students Leah Sherman and Dr. Janivi Dingle studied 39 regular listeners of extreme music between the ages of 18 to 34. And to quote what they were saying, "We found the music regulated sadness and enhanced positive emotions." Sherman said, "When experiencing anger, extreme music fans like to listen to music that can match their anger. The music helped them explore the full gamut of emotion they felt, but also left them feeling more active and inspired." Reads and studies. Results showed levels of hostility, irritability, and stress decreased after music was introduced. And the most significant change report was the level of inspiration they felt. Yeah, I would love to shove this article down a pastor's throat who says anything otherwise to me, because a lot of these Christians use no logic, and yes, I am atheist. So yeah, viva la heavy guitar riffs and blasting drums. However, what I've seen to be a diss track on Eminem's diss track against the Machine Gun Kelly, there is more physical anger in those lyrics than there is in, let's say, Slipknot's music. Slipknot's music is just fuck you, go away, while the song is actually quite degrading. As he can rap, I'll give him that, but there are lines in music and he crossed them both actually. Metallica's song Master of Puppets is a less ambiguous illustration of the harmful effects of cocaine from the POV of drug itself. Metal can be hard to pin down though. Maybe Hammersmashed Face is about what he wants to do to Hitler. I used to kinda think, why would anyone want to write lyrics of Angel of Death, making the Holocaust sound awesome? Until I realized one can interpret these things from different angles. It's exactly the same thing in rap music. It looks like they're all gangsters, but very few actually are, which only further proves Billie Eilish's point. And no, I'm not a fan of her music, but she was absolutely spot on about hip-hop. Not to mention, a lot of metalheads, in my opinion, are following their emotions since they are strong and cannot express it to anyone else. I also think that these people are much more sensitive towards other folks. That's just based off of my observation. But yeah, what they've said couldn't be more true. Metal and rock and the amount of emotion may fit the listener's current state of health of that person. But like rap and hip-hop, which is like the most popular genre in America right now, has shit talking about gangs, killing people, shooting, and violence. I'm actually a metal enthusiast myself and can safely say that metal is one of the only genres where playing aggression is acceptable. Even going to a mosh pit is a lot safer than going to a rap concert. One of the major purposes of play aggression in animals is learning the proper amount of aggression to display and to know the limits so that you can interact better in social situations. Kind of like how kids that roughhouse have lower instances of violence in adulthood. They learn boundaries. I've met people who listen to metal and it's mostly nice guys and a lot of them are nerdy as shit. The ones who are not nerdy have the same personalities as the ones who are. And I don't think I have a single metal friend who doesn't play the same video games I do or like most of the same things I do. But like all in all, metalheads don't sing about raping, hustling, or drug use and killing people by the extreme majority. It's kind of an ironic empathy for the terrible warning of the potential damage. But yeah, like none of them act ghetto, do tons of ratchet nonsense, and they speak proper English and not any Ebonics. However, I can't say the same thing about rap heads, and that's a fact. And I don't care who disagrees. But, well, I'm done here, guys. Let me know down below what you think, if I'm right or if I'm wrong. I'd like to hear your feedback. Thanks for watching the video, and later.